What advice would I give my younger self? This was a question that was recently asked me by Entrepreneur Magazine when they were interviewing me for an article, okay? Would you like to know the answer to this? If you pay close attention, if I gave this advice and had followed it earlier in my career, I can hardly imagine where I would be today. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist for more than 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower what I call their authentic wealth. Well, in the process, I have learned a lot of things by investing more than $3 million, sharpening my saw, as Stephen Covey would say. Notice I said invest. I didn't spend. Because I got a return of 20 times what I invested by implementing the ideas. And I learned these things not in college. So I'm going to share some stories with you that will help you understand why I answered the way I did to Entrepreneur Magazine, okay? Now, I have 10 keys that I help entrepreneurs learn and apply so that they can 10 times their income, their business in 60 months or less while simplifying their life. I've helped many entrepreneurs do that because I did that. I implemented these 10 keys, these 10 principles, and went from $500,000 a year of income to over $5 million a year of income while simplifying my life. You don't have to work 10 times harder to make 10 times more money, okay? Now, in these keys, key number 8, is to use professional coaches and mentors, form strategic alliances, okay? So that's the first piece of advice I would give my younger self. Don't wait around thinking, well, I got to have all my ducks lined up in a row before I go out and join mastermind groups or form strategic alliances. Oh, I could kick myself for doing that, okay? And so some of my favorite coaches and mentors are listed here on the screen. Dan Sullivan, personal friend, strategic coach. When I started with strategic coach, you had to pay $25,000 to be in that room. Okay. Now, Dan Sullivan said, here you check your ego at the door. Instead of trying to be the smartest person in the room, you should be interested in just being in a room where everybody's trying to get smarter. Okay. Many people that did shell out $25,000 did it because of who was not going to be in that room. The people who always wanted something for nothing. They never did want to share. They just wanted to steal everybody else's ideas or whatever, okay? They were very scarcity minded. Joe Polish, Genius Network, Joe's personal friend. You paid $25,000 to be in that room. My return on that investment was 20-fold plus. Dr. Robert Cooper, I'll share 3 ideas that I implemented. You paid $75,000 to be in that mastermind group, and there were only 12 of us. It was worth every bit. Abundance 360, Kathy Lovelace with speaking skills. Some of my favorite mastermind groups I've already mentioned here: Strategic Coach, Genius Network, 12 Leaders, Life Pro, Brilliant Minds, Vistage, National Speakers Association, CEO Space, Abundance 360. These are my 2. Idea to Implementation Masters is one of my groups that I form, mastermind groups that I facilitate, as well as IUL Insiders. IUL Insiders is a mastermind group of IUL agents in America who want to take their practice to an entirely new level, okay? Now, the 10th key out of these 10 keys is to redefine your business at least every 7 years by focusing on marketing and innovation. So let me start out by sharing with you this little story. Ross Perot, okay, multimillionaire, he was invited to speak to Harvard, I believe it was, their graduating class. He never got invited back because this is what he said when he got there. He said, I want all you A students to stand up and be recognized. And all the A students, 4.0 students, stood up and stuck out their chest. He goes, okay, sit down. He says, now I want all you C students to stand up and be recognized. And they stood up, and some of them hung their heads, and they stood up, and he goes, okay, you can sit down. He said, now, I want you A students to take a real good look at those C students. because they're the ones you're probably going to be working for. True. He said they've been devoting their time in the real world, and they were working their way through college. They weren't just sitting there studying textbooks that are usually out of date. They know what the real world is like. You're going to probably be working for them. And then he said, you don't learn a blankety blank thing till you get out of college. That's why they didn't invite him back. Frankly, that's true. The data, information, and knowledge most people learn, even if they go to dental school or medical school, is obsolete within 7 years. And so if you keep using the methods you learned in college, your business is going to go down, 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 and you're going to be spending more and more money to get fewer and fewer patients, results, customers, clients. You have to redefine your business every 7 years, okay? And you do that by innovating and with marketing. This picture right here, this gentleman is Steve Forbes, okay? Now, this is me. This picture was taken in the year 2012. We were at a convention, a Genius Network meeting in New York, Marriott Marquis Hotel on Times Square. And our theme was how to redefine your business every 7 years so you won't be out of business. And we would give 10-minute talks. I was sitting at Steve's table, and he stood up to give his talk, 10 minutes, and he shared how Forbes magazine would have been totally bankrupt that year in 2012 had he not totally redefined it, okay, since the year 2005. In 2005, Forbes magazine, their business model was 17 full-time writers knocking down, $300,000 a year salaries, creating content for Forbes magazine. He said, if I would have stayed that course, we would have been bankrupt. What did he do? Sitting at another table next to ours was Arianna Huffington of the Huffington Post. He learned from her. Arianna Huffington, the Huffington Post, she got all of her content for free. People just wanted to be posted. All she did was hire people to filter out what was going to be posted in the Huffington Post. So Steve Forbes started to do that. And pretty soon, he just let any entrepreneur out there submit articles to be published in Forbes. So many people just wanted to be published in Forbes, they gave it to him for free. They didn't care about being paid. And all he did was have a staff that sort of picked the best articles and edited them and then published them. And this is the real world instead of some paid person who graduated from college years ago and is trying to tell us stuff based on data, information, and knowledge that is outdated. Is this making sense? Okay. So this is a very powerful tool. And so most businesses make the mistake of thinking the way it is right now is the way it's always been and the way it's always going to be. Nope. You're going to be left in the dust. You've got to take that data, information, and knowledge obtained in college and realize it's probably obsolete in 7 years. You have to take knowledge times actual experiences and new technology and innovation that gives you your wisdom. And the world loves you for your wisdom. If you don't redefine your business about every 7 years, you'll be out of business sooner or later. You're going to be spending more and more money to get fewer and fewer results. Mark my word. Now, there's examples of industry transformers that we talked about at that conference. Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, Tesla, okay? I mean, you think about their history. Within a couple of years, Uber and Lyft ended up being responsible for more transportation than all of the taxi cab companies in the world. And Uber and Lyft at that time when they started didn't own one car. Then they started buying some cars and so forth, but they were responsible for more transportation than all the taxi cab companies put together. Airbnb started. 3 guys in San Francisco starving to death, and they realized, man, we get these big conventions in town, and what if we just rented out an air mattress to sleep here in our apartment, and we provided some cereal and juice for breakfast, and it's a bed and breakfast, low cost here in San Francisco, and they came up with the idea of air mattress bed and breakfast, Airbnb. Well, within a couple of years, Airbnb was responsible for more lodging than all Marriott, Sheraton, Hilton combined. And they didn't own one property. They just connected property owners that had inventory space that were willing to rent it out by the night. Hello? Okay. Tesla. Okay. I mean, I could go on and on. Peter Drucker, he has one of 50 multiplier laws that we teach in our mastermind groups, okay, to multiply your business. His law is the business enterprise has two and only two basic functions: marketing and innovation. All the rest are costs. When I finally got that, everybody in my company, from the receptionist to the clerical people, they all contributed one way or another to marketing and innovation, or their days were numbered. It made all the difference in the world, okay? Now, one thing I learned from Dan Sullivan is that every entrepreneur that is trying to build a business actually has two companies. You have your current cash flow company that pays the bills, and you have your future company. You have to focus on both simultaneously. You've got to be multitasking in both companies. Dan Sullivan admits he filed bankruptcy twice in his life. One time was when he just sat back and focused on the cash flow company and just coasted, and he had to file bankruptcy because he didn't innovate. The second time is when he just ignored the cash flow company and took it for granted and started just focusing 100% of his attention on the future company, and he had to file bankruptcy. He said, you have to focus on both, okay? Dr. Robert Cooper, I paid $75,000 to be in that mastermind group. We met 3 times that year. I learned tons of ideas, but these 3 were worth every bit of that 75 grand. He taught me how to do brief and brilliant, practical essence, immediately useful 3-minute brevs. That's a video. And I recorded hundreds of 3-minute videos because we have a dearth of people's time and attention. You send a YouTube video to somebody, what's the first thing they do? They look down and see how long it is. If it's under 3 minutes, they'll probably watch it. If it's over 3 minutes, they'll put it off, and they usually don't ever watch it. That was a game changer for me back then. Now people like long form. The second, he says, Doug, you've got to constantly ask yourself, what's possible? Who are we missing out there that we could be getting their attention? What's the smallest change we can make this month that will have the biggest impact to the bottom line, to our clients, to our customers? This was the game changer. The third idea, he said, Doug, arm your recommenders to easily defend with pride why they engage with you. Make it easy for them to recommend. Wow. So I did that. I made it easy for people to recommend. I gift them books to gift to their family, their friends. That's easy. All they do is gift them a copy of my book. That's the cheapest permanent business card. People don't throw away books, they throw away business cards. I gave them a link to all my videos, and all they had to do was share the link to my app on my phone. Bam! They're not going to carry around your business cards. If somebody says, I've been wondering what's better than an IRA or 401k for my retirement. Oh, you need to listen to Doug. Here, where's your phone? Let me send you his app. Here, you want a copy of his book? I'll have him send a copy of his $20 book, compliments of me. What's your address? Bam! I made it easy for them to point their friends and relatives and associates to me. Game changer. Those 3 ideas, worth 20 times the $75,000 I invested to be in that room 3 times that year, okay? Are you getting it? So yeah, these innovation examples are there, but let me just cut to the chase. In Genius Network, I learned, if you get down to the nitty gritty, if you want to become a multimillionaire, solve $1 billion problem, which is what I did. I solved $1 billion problem, people outliving their money. People are missing out on billions of dollars because they're paying unnecessary tax on IRAs or 401ks. I solved a multi-million dollar, I solved $1 billion problem and became a multimillionaire. If you want to become a billionaire, solve $1 trillion problem. That's what Elon Musk did. I can give you dozens of examples. So folks, what advice would I give my younger self? Start forming strategic alliances. Start using coaches and mentors sooner than later. Invest in your education. And I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about you don't learn a blankety blank thing until you get out of college and get out in the real world. That's where I learned the game-changing principles that made all the difference in the world. Make sense? If you want to learn more, I would recommend you read my book, 10 Keys Transformation. You can go to free10keysbook.com. That's the number 10. You can claim a copy of the Laser Fund book and see these. Go to laserfund.com. You contribute toward the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that. If you want to learn how to teach your kids and grandkids these principles, claim my book, Entitlement Abolition. Go to entitlementabolition.com. I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you free. You just have to contribute towards the shipping and handling. I require a little bit of skin in the game, okay? But this is not about me. This is about you and your brighter future. And I just wanted to share with you some of the answers I gave Entrepreneur Magazine when they were trying to get secrets out of me. They're not secrets. I'm willing to share any of those with you.